What an absolute load of garbage. That match was horrific. I'm being very careful about the language that I use on this particular video because I don't want to swear or say anything too controversial in the first 20, 30, 40 seconds or something like that, because I don't want this video to be banned because I've got something to say about that match. It was absolute garbage. I've backed Eric Ten Hag. I've backed him for the past 12 months, even when he had a bad season last season. But today, he lost a little bit of clout with me. Unless he knows something that we don't. Why, oh why, did he take off our best player today in Matthijs de Ligt? Matthijs de Ligt, despite the fact that we conceded 3 goals, they were not his fault. He was an absolute colossus today. Absolutely fantastic. It's an absolute shame what's going on with Casemiro. An absolute shame. What a player he was back in the day. Even his first season at Manchester United, Casemiro was absolutely fantastic. He was dynamic. He was an absolute warrior. But for some reason, I don't know what's gone on with him. I mean, last season, I did cut him some slack because he's been absolutely ran into the ground by club and country. I don't think he had a summer break last season because of, I don't know, some kind of international competition with Brazil and then straight into the Premier League, etc, 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 etc. So it's actually quite sad that Casemiro has dropped off so much at the moment. Now, we signed Ugarte on Friday morning or something like that. Why, oh why, was he not available to play today? I don't get it. The deal was done. What's the deadline for registration? Why, oh why, was he not playing in that game today? Because he potentially could have made the difference. Because those first 2 goals, we were soft down the middle, like we were last season. Oh, it was so frustrating to watch. But I tell you what, the most frustrating part of that match today were the substitutions. Why did he take Garnacho off? Why did he take Garnacho off? Marcus Rashford has been shocking for 18 months. Why does he stick with him? He was terrible today. Head dropped. He had no impetus. There was nothing about Marcus Rashford today that suggested that he should stay on that pitch. But he took off Garnacho. At least Garnacho over the past 12, 18 months has shown some kind of fight, some kind of fortitude, some kind of will to win. But Marcus Rashford has been absolutely shocking. He'd get the ball, he'd kill the momentum of any given move, he'd pass it inside when he didn't have to. There's just nothing there with Marcus Rashford anymore. He's on £300,000 per week. Think about that. £300,000 per week. Not per year, not per 2 years, per week. He's getting that every week of the year. Yet, what was the last thing that you remember him doing that was any good? Because he certainly didn't do anything good today. I'm sorry, but I've always been an optimistic Manchester United fan. I always give the benefit of the doubt. But now, I'm sick to the back teeth. My dad is a season ticket holder at Manchester United. He's a season ticket holder. I bought him it for his retirement. And he loves the club. And he watches them week in, week out. And he'll always back them. But when my dad, normal working class guy, goes to watch that match, that puts a smile on his face, and he has to suffer watching Marcus Rashford play the way he has for the past however long. I'm sorry, he can afford the best of everything. If he's got family problems, if he's got mental health problems, if he's got physical problems, if he's got any kind of problems, he has the financial clout to deal with said problems. He can afford the best psychiatrists, the best doctors, the best everything. The best everything. So there is no excuse for him to be playing in the manner that he is playing at the moment. No excuse whatsoever. Honestly, My head is absolutely battered with this nonsense. I don't mind anyone getting paid. I don't mind anyone getting paid for anything that they do as long as they do it well. Marcus Rashford is not even putting the effort in. I mean, Xerxes wasn't great today. He had a couple of opportunities. And to be fair to the guy, you know, he's making an adjustment from a slower league into a more physical league. But at the very least, he looked like he was putting the effort in. Marcus Rashford hasn't looked like he's putting the effort in for at least 12 months. He should have been taken off at half-time with Casemiro. This is ridiculous. I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on with Manchester United. That really, really annoyed me, that match today. I don't know what the positives were. Matthias de Ligt played really well. I thought Martinez played quite well. Mazraoui, the fullbacks were fine. The defence was fine. We just lost it in midfield. Kobe Mainoo was fine. There were just 2 easy goals from 2 Casemiro mistakes. And then we had no teeth up front. That's another thing as well. We can have anyone we want up front. We could have Marco van Basten up front. But if no one is going to pass him the ball, if no one's going to give him any assists, then there's no point him being there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Marcus Rashford, he gets the ball and he loses it. Does he cross it often? Not a lot. Is he looking for the number 9 up front? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look like he is. I mean, Garnacho, I'll forgive Garnacho a little bit because he scored some goals himself. But our wingers, the thing is, to play devil's advocate, in Garnacho and Rashford, they are 2 players that suit counter-attacking football. But Erik ten Hag is trying to play possession-based football, and he's playing counter-attacking players up front. So that doesn't quite make sense, does it? Think about that. Possession-based football, so you need wingers and playmakers that are good with close control, so they can keep hold of possession, and then they cross it in for the number 9, whoever's going to be the number 9, and they're going to score the goals. But you've got players like Garnacho and Rashford who are not very good at close control. They are devastating on the counter-attack though. So he's got counter-attacking players playing up front. So it's always going to be difficult for those players. But at least Garnacho, at the very least, looks like he's playing, looks like he's making the effort. Marcus Rashford doesn't look like he's making the effort. And if he comes out and gives some woe is me interview again, I mean, I'm not interested at all in footballers whinging about how bad their lives are when they're earning the amount of money that they get for what they do. Because at the end of the day, it's entertainment, and all they have to do to entertain is kick a ball on a pitch. And they get the best of everything. So, not interested at all, especially with my dad. Working class, hard working Mara. Mara is West Cumbrian for lad, guy, man. Working class, salt of the earth. He shouldn't have to watch that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting beat, necessarily. But you want to see some effort. That's what we want. Effort. And there's some players in that Man United team that are not putting the effort in. I'm sorry to say, but that goal is crap. Onana. It's just, there's nothing that he brings to that team that David De Gea didn't bring to that team. I mean, at least one of those goals, David De Gea would have saved it. David De Gea was an amazing shot stopper. And, okay, so they brought Onana because he can play the ball out with the back. I mean, I think that's overrated. I think that notion of a goalkeeper being able to do that is completely overrated. And I've never seen Onana pass a ball that looks like he's going to split a defence. Not since he signed. And he's played enough games to be able to have had the chance to be able to do that. So why we spent 50 million replacing David De Gea with him beggars belief. And he'll be on 200 grand a week. Just think about that. Think about that. £200,000 a week to play as badly as that. Marcus Rashford, £300,000 per week to just phone a performance in. How mental is that? It's ridiculous at the end of the day. Can you imagine if a doctor or a lawyer, let's just say a doctor, a surgeon even, a surgeon who doesn't actually get paid that as much as a professional footballer, imagine they phoned in a performance on the operating table. There'd be lives at risk. People would die. So why a professional footballer is not able to pass a ball accurately? It just doesn't make sense to me, unfortunately. It really doesn't. Why am I getting so irate? Irate at a piece of entertainment. Because that's what it is. It's entertainment. It might have something to do with my dad. Poor fella, having to suffer that. Worked hard all his life to travel down to Manchester, to sit on his seat at the Stretford end, to watch absolute nonsense. Nonsense. I'm not sure what else I can say. I'm not saying Eric Ten Hag out yet. He needs to work on his substitutions for a start. Marcus Rashford hasn't done anything for a long time to warrant being a starter for Manchester United. And to think of the players that have played with the number 10 on their back. Ruud van Nistelrooy, Mark Hughes, David Beckham. Absolute warriors. And then he's playing with the number 10 and he's moping about. Silly. Absolute silly. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with me? Am I talking rubbish? Please tell me. I'm open for debate. Let me know. This is the Big D out.